I've interviewed you all these years. I've known you almost 30 years. And people ask me and say to him, why does he have to fight so hard? Why doesn't he pick his fights a little more? Why does he have to call people names? That maybe you're in the middle a little more. And the argument that they make to me is, if he would just tone it down a hair, stop a little of the name calling. Hang on. I said it's their question. Leave me alone. All right. What do you say to them?
Okay, you ready? And I say this to everybody. I won an election. It was unprecedented. We beat somebody that supposedly had it made, and they probably did things in that election too. We need courage in this country, or we're going to lose our country. All right.
Donald Trump sat down with Sean Hannity for a town hall. Maybe this one would go a little bit differently than the one that he did on CNN. So Sean just asked, I think, a pretty basic question. It wasn't his, as he pointed out. Why do you have to fight so much? Why do you have to do the name calling? Doesn't it turn some people off? It just might help you. There's so many times that people have told Donald Trump what he probably could do to help himself when it comes to electorally, or at least from those few supporters that go, he bristles, and he can't do it. Even the audience there, they're supporting his nonsense, so that's why he'll keep doing it. But by the way, before he even came on, Hannity wanted to make sure he knew this was not gonna go the same route that CNN did with Caitlin Collins and her talking and stuff, or reality, or facts and things like that. As a matter of fact, it became a news story over on the Daily Beast. They pointed it out. Said Hannity vows not to fact check Trump during their town hall, their upcoming town hall. And I think he fulfilled his promise. Here's a piece from that. The Fox News host took issue with the rival network CNN's live town hall event last month, during which the moderator Caitlin Collins repeatedly corrected Trump. How dare she? Here's a quote. People can fact check Trump's answers all they want afterward, but the reality is I want to hear what he has to say in his own words and actually let him finish a thought, which was not very common during the CNN town hall. Pause for a second here, Francesca. You can say what you want on this if you'd like, but I bring up Subway and McDonald's as the two very basic, normal, lower level jobs that people have where their responsibilities are so much higher than someone who's running for effing president. Is you go into Subway and you say, how much is the footlong BLT? And they go, it's $24.99, sir. And then someone else from the back says, yo, Barry, it's actually 10. Don't correct me right now, I'm working with a customer. Well, we need some reality because we're about to have an exchange here. Maybe some reality and some facts and information that I'm looking for that should be real, should be portrayed, rather than us just hearing someone lie and go, you can fact check whether or not you got overcharged later. First,
fake news.
To lie to you.
Fake news, it's $24. Yeah, I mean, it's actually just $3, but I pocket the rest. I make about $21 per foot long. Anyway, I like where you're going on that.
That's my fault.
No. You're right. I mean, both Sean Hannity and Donald Trump have a responsibility to do their job. I mean, Sean Hannity, I think, looks more ridiculous in this case because Trump is just a stream of consciousness from old man yelling at cloud. Like he is, Grandpa Simpson at this point. And we've seen what happens when Fox doesn't interrupt him to ask him a question, nothing pushing back. It is just a diatribe. It's like 3 minutes later and everyone's like, Mr. and he'll just keep going and going and going and going. So I think that's amazing and hilarious. And of course, him not wanting to at all manicure his image, change it up. Why? Why would he when it's gotten him this far? I mean, he did lose, let's be real. But also, but they're not taking the lessons from 2020 they should be taking. I mean, I think you see there Hannity is concerned about losing maybe voters who switched to vote for Biden in 2020, which there were. You see him losing in the suburbs, especially women, which that he is. And he's asking a legitimate question. That's why a lot of folks are running to the arms of Ron DeSantis. The problem is DeSantis sucks. Like, if DeSantis were a bigger threat to Trump, Trump might say something different. The audience might not have booed. But so far, man, why switch it up? It's like folks asking us Bernie bros from me to be like, don't you think Bernie should, just like stop talking about income inequality? And we're like, no, we love the hits. We want the hits. And it's a real thing. It's like that, except, for racists.
100%. And so again, this is the approach they openly want to take. They'll say it. We're not looking for truth here. And sadly, people will watch and they'll cheer when someone actually says they want a little bit of that. There's more that happened. I want to get another clip from this though, because Trump was also talking about some of the issues he's got. One of those being the classified documents problem, which continues to grow and actually looks like something's gonna come of that as well, legally, with another investigation, another potential charge, because he talks too much. And oddly, one of those things that he was saying was on CNN's town hall that maybe will add to this fire. Here he is talking about his document problem.
There's a special counsel that's appointed, and news broke yesterday that there might be a tape recording that, quote, where you acknowledge that you understood that these were classified documents. First of all, do you know who this call may be with? Do you know anything about it?
No, I don't know anything about it. All I know is this: everything I did was right. We have the Presidential Records Act, which I abided by 100%. Biden has 1,850 boxes with a lot of classified stuff that he's not supposed to have. In his case, I have the right to declassify as president. He's got 1,850 boxes that he doesn't want anyone to see. He had 7 or 8 boxes in Chinatown in Washington, D.C., where nobody even speaks English in Chinatown. Chinatown is it's in favor of China.
Someone help me follow what that means and why this has anything to do with, again, Handy asked about an audio recording where it sounds like Donald Trump is talking about bragging over his illegal activity with stolen documents. Biden had his issues with it as well. But there's boxes in Chinatown, Francesca. They're in Chinatown where apparently no one speaks English whatsoever. So if there's classified documents in Chinatown where no one speaks English, that means it's at a higher risk.
That's basically like selling the documents to China if it isn't at a residency in Chinatown. I only sold it to, the UAE and Saudi Arabia and Israel, and really whoever wanted to could see it. It was basically like my show and tell item, But like his ability to descend into, again, like old man xenophobe brain, like no matter what he's being asked, is just, it's something to behold. It's majestic how much he can be derailed into some racist rant.
100%, and he'll live there. It goes back to the original point. That's what gets him the votes and support that he's got. That's where he's got. He's thinking about it clearly.